Hey y'all, what's up? Jamie, that's me here. Welcome back to the channel. Listen, I just want to have a quick conversation with you guys about a few things that's been going on out there. Okay, we definitely got to touch on Candy Birds and this lawsuit that she had with OLG. Okay, there was an incident that took place. We'll touch on that. We got to talk more about Cardi B and what's going on with her and Offset. We got to get into this Spotify situation. Okay, I haven't been talking much about female rap and stuff like that, but I'm gonna touch on it here and there whenever I feel like it. And I'm just gonna tap my fingers on over to talk about the Spotify, the golden standard or era, whatever they had going on with the mural. We'll touch on that. And of course, we got to get into a tad bit more of the politics and things. So make sure that you're coming in and supporting the video. Okay. You know what to do. Go ahead and leave your comments below. Let me know how you're feeling about the subjects that we are going to be going over in this video. Okay. But before we get into it, did y'all hear that Waffle House is supposed to be having like online? Like you can start placing your orders online with Waffle House. Now, girl, I have been wanting to eat Waffle House. Okay. I will be honest. I have not had any in a good while. I will say that. But girl, it was one I used to call, and child, they used to keep their phone like off the hook. Like you really couldn't even get through. Like they really act like they be that busy. So you have to roll up in there and place your order or whatnot. Okay. And then I know that sometimes they do that when they are busy. You just call in, place your orders over the phone or whatever like that. And then go pick your order up. But sometimes when they busy, child, they take that bitch off the hook or something. Hello. But I think that's good. I see Waffle House trying to be a tad bit progressive. I don't know if they're being progressive on what they're paying the individual that's cooking and serving over there, but we do appreciate y'all trying to, put the orders online. And I better not listen. I placed my order online for a piece of Waffle House. Y'all better not put my order, okay? Because everything is up there. And y'all, also y'all better be paying attention to the online thing because this is something new. So if people placing their orders online, child, that food better be ready when they get ready to pull up or close to it. I wonder if they're gonna also still be taking phone calls too. So y'all gonna be taking phone calls and online orders, or is y'all gonna be doing one or the other? I feel like that's gonna be really overloading to people. You're gonna have phone calls coming through. You probably gonna have the online orders coming through. Then you're gonna have people walking in. Waffle House know they don't be having enough staff for all of that. So we'll see, girl. But I mean, kudos to them. You feel what I'm saying? I might have to try out the little online service one day and see how it's so. But anywho, child, I heard that and I was like, what? Not they trying to be a little progressive, honey, move a little forward, finally get with the times and let people place their order online. I guess, honey. But anyway, what I really want to talk about, honey, is Miss Candy Burris and Todd Tucker, okay? Because y'all know they had that lawsuit with OLG. And it appears that the lawsuit is no more. Okay. I do want to get into something over here on In Touch Weekly where they said the woman who sued Miss Candy Burris and Todd Tucker, suing them in their restaurant over a shooting that allegedly left her daughter injured. They're saying that she hit her lawsuit. Okay, this is what In Touch is saying, that she's dropped her lawsuit according to court documents that they have obtained. The woman named Tammy Johnson, who filed the lawsuit back in 2022 on behalf of her daughter, they're saying that she dismissed her case with prejudice. And my question is, I wonder why. Like, my question is why? Did she see that she wasn't going to win this? Was it not going anywhere? Or did the judge actually dismiss her case with prejudice? Meaning that you cannot come for Candy Burris and Todd Tucker anymore. Okay, you can't come for them. It's a done deal. The case is dismissed. If you're gonna bring up a lawsuit against them in the future, let it be for a new reason, because it can't be for this one, because that's a done deal. But they are saying that this lady dropped the lawsuit, or at least dismissed. And I'm like, well, it's one thing. I feel like she could drop a lawsuit, but I don't think she can dismiss a lawsuit. So when and I'll let y'all lawyers, get me together in the comments or whatever. But as I'm reading this, how they're labeling it, they're making it seem like she dismissed it with prejudice. And I'm like, I would think that she probably could like drop it, right? But the judge would have to be the one to dismiss it and attach prejudice or no prejudice or whatever it is, with that. So I believe this may have been a decision of the judge. But furthermore, I feel like In is a site that's known to dig deep and get all into people's business, especially the way they got up in Miss Kelly's business. Y'all know the new lady that's going to be on Real Housewives of Atlanta. They got all up in her business, and I read all of her business to y'all. So it would have been nice if they would have gave us a little bit more of the business to see exactly the reason as to why this lawsuit ended up being dropped. Okay. Now, for the people that may not know, the reason for her lawsuit was because she was visiting the OLG back in February of 2020, like around Valentine's Day, right? And she said that she was with her daughter, who was 14 at the time, and she was also with some other relatives. Now, the suit also said that her daughter was near the front of the restaurant in the waiting area, not too far from the door. Now, they're saying Tammy said prior to entering the restaurant, one of her relatives heard a loud altercation in the parking lot outside of the entrance of OLG. And they're saying while waiting to be seated at the OLG, a man entered and was near the front of the restaurant. And when he was near the front of the restaurant, I do believe that's when, the shots and things rung out. Okay. Now, they did say shortly afterwards, a second man who was wearing a red tracksuit enter OLG. Okay. Upon information and belief, the men who entered OLG were the same men who were arguing in the parking lot prior to the shooting taking place. Okay. They're saying that her daughter ended up getting shot in the right calf. In the right calf, and they said the gunshot wound that her daughter sustained did require medical attention or medical treatment. And when I hear this, my question is, did you guys also go after those men? Were you able to identify those men, get any footage, and all of that? Because it sounds like this is something they did. Now, I do understand it happened near the premises or inside. Well, it seems like it was taking place outside, which was in the parking lot. I don't think that's grounds to really sue Miss Candy Burris. Maybe you could sue owners of, said development where the parking lot is and all of that, but not just Candy, because y'all was in Candy's restaurant, even though those people ended up coming inside of the restaurant. But all in all, if you're going to sue her, I just feel like more people should have been attached to that lawsuit aside from Miss Candy, because her name is bigger. But that's just what I'm thinking. Okay. Now, they said that her daughter has experienced severe physical and emotional pain and suffering as a result of the incident she sustained. So that was one thing. The woman also claimed that she was unaware of many crimes that occurred in that shopping center. And there had been a previous strong arm robbery at or inside of a Lady Gang in 2019. Now, first of all, let's not see this. I feel like this is a bit salacious, because a robbery inside OLG. Y'all remind me of that of 2019, because I ain't never heard nothing like that. Now, I definitely have heard things happening on the outside of OLG like this. The only major thing that I can recall that happened inside, I believe her nephew ended up getting shot. Wasn't he at the restaurant or something like that? And he ended up unfortunately getting shot, and it had something to do with another worker or whatnot. But aside from that, girl, what is you talking about strong arm robbery in 2019 inside or at? I feel like In Touch Weekly is being a little messy with how they wrote up this article, but that's just what I'm thinking. All right. But either way, it's appearing that it has been dropped. They said the lawsuit demanded unspecified damages. They said the owners of the shopping center and the other defendants deny all allegations of wrongdoing. Okay, so I stand corrected. It appears that she may have sued the owners of the shopping center as well, possibly. Okay, they said as a direct and proximate result of the failure of defendants Old Lady Gang 2 LLC and or Old Lady Gang Concessions LLC and or Old Lady Gang's Southern Cuisine LLLP to exercise ordinary care in keeping the OLG restaurant premises and approaches safe. Okay, they said this young lady suffered a gunshot wound and severe bodily injury. That's what the lawsuit read, but the lawsuit demanded a certain amount of damages, but the owners of the shopping center and the other defendants denied all allegations of wrongdoing. Okay, so I'm like, I definitely would think you would come for the owners of the shopping center, and not just Miss Candy Burris herself. I don't know, because it's like, if that's the case, everybody will be held liable for things that people do on their property when they made the decision to do it. But it doesn't mean that I guess you can't sue. My biggest thing was, I agree, you over here just suing them. So I'm thinking that the judge could have dismissed it. In my opinion, I think the case could have been dismissed by the judge. But then also, if she were to have quote unquote dropped the case on her own, I'm wondering if she was paid off. I would want to highly doubt that she received any coinage. I do think the individuals that actually caused the injury should be the ones to be held accountable to pay for all, whether she needs rehab, any medical expenses, all of that. They definitely should have been attached to this list, but you know how people do. So it is what it is, okay? But this is what In Touch Weekly is reporting, that it has been dismissed with prejudice. So they can never bring this case back to the front ever again. Okay. And I'm not reading anything about a settlement. So I'm believing that there was no settlement in place, meaning that she has not received any, financial compensation from any of the defendants that was listed on that case. So yeah, and then I'm wondering if those guys were ever arrested for their reckless behavior as well, because they should have been caught and arrested. Because if you don't pop, girl, listen, for them to pop this kid, they should be held accountable financially, and they should have to deal with, some criminal charges, in my personal. Because why y'all carrying on like that in the parking lot? And the parking lot ain't even that big, girl. The parking lots are not even big like that, and y'all over there cutting up. Ooh, the people is reckless, honey. But either way, honey, good luck. Just wanted to give y'all that little tidbit, okay? And now, as we're sticking with the housewives at this moment, I do want to hop over and talk about Miss Phaedra Parks. Okay. Shout out to Miss Phaedra Parks, because she did receive that peach to return back to Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, she will not be on Married to Medicine, or this is what I think is going to happen. I think the timing may be perfect. They're going to show us the Phaedra for a good amount of the show. And then by the time she phases out on that show, we're going to see her make entry over onto Real Housewives of Atlanta. I do question and wonder if Married to Medicine and Real Housewives of Atlanta are going to be coming on at the same time, or if we're going to get like Married to Medicine and Real Housewives of Potomac at the same time, as they're trying to clean up and fix the mess of Miss Kenya Moore no longer being on the show, and all of the footage they have of her, and how they're going to create the next season. We could potentially get that at a later time. So we'll just have to see how it's going to play out. But I will say this, TMZ got a chance to catch up to Mr. Andy Cohen, honey. And when they called up to Andy, of course, they were talking to Andy about Miss Phaedra Parks and her returning. I think they may have asked about Miss Kenya Moore, but he didn't really say a whole lot of anything when it came to Kenya Moore. Okay, so I want you guys to go ahead and just listen to this. All right.
Oh my God! So Phaedra is back on Real Housewives of Atlanta. So yeah. So does that mean that like Kenya is no more, or maybe can we see her coming back, or is Phaedra like the actual permanent replacement? Do you know? Or
you know what? What I know is that it is going to be an incredible season. I am so excited that Phaedra is coming back, and that's really where I'm at.
And the ratings should be really good.
I hope so. I mean, the show's really good, which is the most important thing.
I appreciate you. Thank you. Andy.
Of course, I did not expect Andy to say anything negative about Real Housewives of Atlanta. I mean, that's one of his babies. He does want the show to do well. But listen, I don't know what to expect, y'all. It's been too much going on over there. They have delayed filming forever. Okay. I think at one point Portia Williams was like the only person filming. They finally finalized the cast at the end of April, top of May. Then by the end of May, early June, we get this situation with, Brittany and Kenya and the whole RP allegations and stuff. Then we find out that Kenya's suspended. Then we find out that she's fired. Kenya's team's been saying she hasn't been fired. She just decided to step away because she didn't like how they handled everything. It's been a whole lot, okay? And they have a lot of good footage, I'm sure, with Miss Kenya Moore. So are you guys going to try to edit her completely out of the season? Are you going to leave her in the season to try to still hold on to some of her fans that are saying they're not going to be fucking with the show? Are you going to leave her in to kind of hold on to them for a little bit? And then as they're continuing to watch, they're going to stay watching once she exits, just to see how the show continues to, play out, being that she's not going to be there. Like I'm wondering what the plan is when it comes to that editing. Then you guys are letting us know, like, hey, guess what? We may have lost her, but we just picked up Miss Phaedra Parks. We hope that you guys enjoy that. Yes, we're gonna give you Miss Phaedra. Then you got some fans that are excited. Then you got some fans that's not so excited because they're like, hey, y'all literally sat Miss Phaedra down for the allegations that she put out there about Miss Candy, and y'all are welcoming her back. If that's the case, then whatever Kenya did can't be too bad. So you guys could have just kept Kenya around. So that's what some of the fans are thinking. Like, so you sit Kenya down because of what she did, but then you're bringing back Miss Phaedra. What she did was damn near similar in range, right? So that's how, some of the fans have been feeling from some of the tweets that I've seen, and I just feel like it's a mess. It's a mess. The ladies are over there in Grenada, and they over there having a good time. They got their bathing suits on, and they over there twerking in the water under the waterfall, showing they ass. Literally, honey, Miss Brittany Edie and that terrible BBL was out there in them streets just getting it. Okay, she was having a good time though. I ain't mad at it. I'm like, I'll have a great time. I mean, do y'all thing. All right, but girl, I couldn't help but see that little BBL, like the hips was just not matching. It was just, anywho, girl, y'all have fun out there in Grenada, huh? All right, but we'll see. We're gonna see how Miss Phaedra are gelling with the girls as she enters in the scene come next year. So y'all gotta let me know y'all thoughts about that. But while we're talking about Miss Phaedra returning to Real Housewives of Atlanta, Dr. Heavenly gets so messy. Dr. Heavenly gets messy, and she says, listen, she takes to Twitter. I'm not trying to be messy or nothing, is what she said. But can we get Kenya Moore on Married to Medicine, please? Thank you. All right, now listen. Hey, a lot of people start getting upset, getting in the comments like, what the fuck does Kenya have that's married to medicine? What the does Kenya have that's married to medicine? Listen, if Miss Phaedra can go over there and play with them for a little bit, knowing she ain't got no married to medicine, then Miss Kenya can go over there and try and play with them a little bit too. If she created some type of hair growth, something for the people, because I feel like that could be a medical condition. Not it can be, but people that may have alopecia, she got her hair salon. If she added some type of medicine type of element to her business, she probably could finesse that just a little bit. I mean, hell, Phaedra said that she was dating somebody that was in the medical field. We never saw him. Hell, we saw a clip art. Okay, a graphic of the face of the man. All right, he never showed up, none of that. So if she could go over there and play, ain't nothing really wrong with Miss Kenya going over there to play to get her and secure her a little piece of check over there. I wonder if Bravo would allow it. Okay, I'm not gonna say I wouldn't be too opposed to it, but Miss Dr. Heavenly is calling for Kenya, and I'm like, you gonna be able to handle Kenya? Should she come over there? Because I don't know. I feel like Kenya come over there. I feel like she will wear the ladies out, number one. And I don't know if that will be a good look for her or not, being that these Married to Medicine ladies are totally different than Real Housewives, right? But I'm like, she'll probably wear y'all out to the point where y'all may try and band together and get rid of her the same way that y'all did Quad. Okay. So what is that? I don't know, but I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it. You know how some people have like the what is it called? Is it some type of dermatitis where like they may have like an extremely flaky scalp that may cause them to like have hair loss or something like that. Like she can like, freak something in that arena potentially and be able to slide over there and with the girls for a little bit. But you know what was interesting when I think about it was Andy Cohen and how he was trying to like kind of avoid any conversations when it came to Miss Kenya. It was making me think of Nene Leakes just a bit. Now I don't think he and Kenya really have a bad relationship at this time, possibly, but it could be a situation where maybe she did make it legal. Maybe there is a legal situation going on with Bravo and her. Who knows? But he definitely was not willing to speak on it. And then at the same time, I don't blame him because of the setting. You know, this man trying to catch a taxi or whatever it is he's trying to do. He's trying to get out of Dodge. So I do understand him. If he's going to break that news or say anything about the dynamics of he and Kenya or what happened with the show, I would expect Andy to do that on his own podcast. Okay. I would definitely expect that. But that's just, what I'm thinking. All right. Now, another thing that I wanted to mention to you guys when I think about Married to Medicine, um, Funky Dineva, he ended up, on his live kind of sharing some things on the whole situation of, things that took place over at Married to Medicine. Okay. I do believe the ladies may have possibly been on a trip or something like that. And he ended up explaining some details. Okay. Getting into some tea to let us know what all took place on that trip. All right. So let's actually listen to what it is that Funky had to say.
Apollo wife got Phaedra ass together and was finna fight her. And was finna fight her down to the boat. She was finna fight her down to the boat. Down to the boat, honey. Down to the boat. And they say the people then start using words like, I don't feel safe and I feel threatened in my safety. And they saying that's the type of conversations that the people is having. But I'm gonna tell y'all who else. Who else was fearing for their safety? And y'all didn't hear this from me. Come close. Baby, they say Quad new man was gonna beat up Dr. G.
All right. So y'all heard that. Okay. Now, first of all, that's messy as hell. To bring Apollo and to bring the wife onto the show. Girl, I guess Miss Heavenly was like, well, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Miss Phaedra, you brought him on first. So I guess it was free range for us to bring him on and bring the wife to Chive. I think that was a piece of, you know what I'm saying? That was a piece of messy. Because if somebody would have reached back and pulled forward somebody that Heavenly had been messing with, she would have been shook the hell up and she would have been pissed the hell off. Okay. Now, as for Quad and her new man, I know Quad is very happy to have her new man around, child. And let me tell you, I wonder if Dr. G was over there trying to, you know what I'm saying? Even though he a little, girl, I ain't gonna call that man small and then like that. But what I will say is, he probably just got a little hyper. And I wonder if he got a little bit too hyper when it came to Miss Quad because he was showing his jealousy or something like that, that almost landed him a good ass from Quad's man. But the people saying that Quad man can't film right now. Now, I don't know if that has changed, but that is what I have been hearing today. It's not letting that man film. So he was really finna put a whooping. Do you hear me? He was really finna put a whooping out there on Dr. G, baby. Listen, this gonna be a good season. And I feel like Miss Quad really gonna be there to play with the people for real, because now she got her man. Okay, Quad's got a man at home. Come on, Quad. Quad done got her a man at home. And I'm sure she's really gonna come out and start playing with the girls. And I damn sure don't see her being on no sympathy, trying to be on some apologetic, be my friend, be my friend, be my friend type stuff. So we just gonna see. I think Married to Medicine is going to be another great season, and I think it's likely gonna be a better season than Real Housewives of Atlanta, girl. I think it's going to be better than that. But we are going to have to wait to see how it all plays out. So y'all let me know y'all thoughts about it and everything. But in the meantime, let's move on. Okay. I want to talk about Miss Cardi B and that husband of hers, soon to be ex-husband, okay, Mr. Offset. They are indeed getting a divorce. Miss Cardi B did file for a divorce from man. And there's been a lot of conversation around it. Okay. There's been so much conversation that I've actually seen a post, and I'm not going to show it on the screen, but I will read it to you guys and let you guys see or hear exactly the allegations that people were trying to put out about Miss Cardi B. Okay. There was someone on actually I believe it's Twitter that goes by the name of Maria Money that was putting allegations out there about Cardi, saying that Cardi B is pregnant, but guess what? It may be from her former jump off, not Offset. That is what I heard, and y'all know I stay connected. Is that why, even though she pregnant, we still haven't seen Offset with her? And I'm like, let's keep going. All right. She says they would be, even though, since he out there knocking up randoms. Okay. So this is what this person is saying. And I'm like, weren't they just together at a basketball game? Like what, back in May, April? And this is all while she's been pregnant. Then they got caught up with each other at the top of the year. I do believe she was pregnant at that time. Y'all, I honestly think that Cardi B may be much further along than what we're thinking. And I'm going to tell y'all why in a second. But I do believe there's been instances where we have seen Cardi and Offset together. Okay. Beyond that. So I don't know what this person is talking about. And right out the gate, I didn't even think of the question of, oh, is that really Offset's child? I didn't even think of that. I feel like Cardi can be so loyal to a man to a fault. Like I'm remembering when she was on Love and Hip Hop New York. And when she was on that show, she had this man that she was seeing that was in prison, y'all. And she was like being so loyal to this man, writing letters, all of that, holding him down, all of that. And I remember people was like dragging her, like, girl, you a fool. Okay. It's giving love after lockup, not love and hip hop. What the hell is going on? So I think when Cardi is in a relationship, she is in a relationship and she is that type of girl. Okay. So these allegations, I'm like, oh girl, that's rough to try and put that out there on somebody and say that they'll be that man's baby. Okay. And if it ain't, we'll find out in due time. All right. Well, it appears that it is, because Miss Ma'am is seeking child support for all them kids. All of them, all of them, all of them. All of them. Okay. Now let's get into it. Because they're saying that Cardi B wants her ex to help offset the cost. Okay, come on, Offset. Yeah, that's your name. We need you to offset the cost of raising y'all kids. Period. Now, in a recent divorce filing against Offset, the pregnant rapper asked for primary custody of their kids and for him to pay child support. Now, they're saying that they do share 2 children and they are expecting their 3rd child later this year. Okay, now they're saying later this year. So, if Cardi got pregnant in January, then that means that she could potentially be due in September or so, which is another reason why I'm gonna say this. I think her album's coming towards the end of the year. I really do. But I'm questioning if Cardi had already been pregnant back in December. Hear me out. Cardi went and did a rant, and I thought it was in the middle of December, but don't quote me. But Cardi went and did, because I think it was because a lot of people was trying to say, oh, she's over there ranting and all of this stuff because Nicki Minaj dropped her album and da-da-da, it's the distraction and with the boost the killer. Okay, whatever. Okay. But around that time in December, I do believe that she went on live and started going crazy, going off on him, saying all kind of stuff, whatever. But one thing she said that stuck out to me was, he knows that I'm really vulnerable right now, or something like that she said about being really vulnerable. And that stuck with me. So as we fast forward to now, I am questioning, could she be much further along than what we're thinking? And could the baby be due much sooner? And she's probably not going to announce that. She probably ain't even going to show us the baby. Okay. Which she has every right to do, because she did the same thing with Culture. Like I think she did the same thing with Wave too. I don't think she waited some months or so before she actually showed us the kids. Another thing, as I'm thinking about it, I was listening to another creator and they were saying something about like, well, let's be honest, Offset only married Cardi because she was pregnant. And it's like, you couldn't have your facts more wrong. That is not true. And that just popped up in my head as I was thinking about her kids and stuff. And I was remembering listening to that creator. And I'm like, that's not true. Actually, they got married in 2017 over the summer. Right? He posted her on stage. They had this big old fat ring, whatever the case was. They ended up getting married. It was like an at-home ceremony between them. They ain't even had no wedding. Okay, girl. First of all, I'm gonna get back into it, but it's really giving like, wow, These people be rich as hell, and it be so many rich as people that do not have actual weddings. They just go marry and be on by their damn business. Probably sign whatever contracts or whatever else they need, prenups, etc., and they go on by their business, child. But aside from that, yeah. So when it comes to Cardi B and this husband of hers, they had got married in the summer of, I believe, 2017. And then by that spring or earlier that year or at the end of 2017, they ended up getting pregnant with baby Culture. So Cardi was already married without child and then married with child. The child did not come before the marriage. Okay. But anywho, there's that. All right. And now they are welcoming another child, and she is seeking to get child support. Baby, ain't that something? And you know what else I noticed was when it was announced that this child is Offset's and Miss Cardi is seeking, primary custody as well as child support for their children, all three, the narrative started to change. Girl, one thing that people will do is shift and change the narratives, honey. It started to change to say Offset allegedly got 3 other women pregnant outside of their marriage. 3 other women are pregnant. And I'm like, well, he already got 3 kids by 3 other women anyway. And I believe that was all before Miss Cardi. Don't he got an older son, another little girl, and then he got the little boy Cody. Then came, I believe, Culture, then came Wave, and now they having another child. So he about to have 6 kids. So are you trying to put on this man 9 children? Since the last narrative not seeming to work about that child not being his, now you're saying that, oh, it's 3 other kids outside of the marriage. So are you saying that meaning the first 3 that he had? Or are you saying in addition to? Now, here's the thing. Anything is possible because the men do be out here having all kind of babies. I just don't know if that fully applies to him. We'll have to wait and see. I am just acknowledging the fact of how they always like moving the meter. Oh, if it ain't this, then let's put that out. Oh, if it ain't that, then let's put this out. Stop that. Pop, pop. Stop that. Cut that stuff out. Okay. Now let's get into more. They're saying Cardi is also requesting that the court order that any property acquired by her or Offset during their more than 6-year marriage be distributed equally, okay, or equitably. So I'm wondering because Cardi put a post out where people were trying to. This is so interesting to me, right? So like earlier in the week, people were trying to say, "Oh, Cardi's home has been foreclosed on, and I'm like, y'all really think that lady house is foreclosed on? When even if she ain't paying the bills, she got a rich husband that's also going to get the bills paid, who's currently on tour or festivals or whatever he's doing out there working. You don't think that's going to get paid? Like, huh?" So I thought that was really interesting, right? And of course, they came back and Cardi debunked that and said that was a lie. But here's what's really interesting for me. Y'all were able to put a narrative out there that the home was foreclosed on. And let's say you did your research and found those documents, quote unquote. You were able to find documents about a home being foreclosed, allegedly, or whatever, which wasn't even true. But you couldn't find out that this lady had already filed for a divorce from this man. I guess, honey. I guess you know what I'm saying. But anyway, also Cardi mentioned something as well on her Twitter where she was like, my home is not tied to hell up, as y'all would say. And if that was the case, I could just sell it off to Offset. So that did bring speculation when people were like, well, what does she mean she could sell her half or whatever to Offset? And now we see. So if Offset does want that home in Atlanta, it's sounding like Cardi is going to make him pay for it. Okay, possibly, unless the judge just look at all the properties that they have, and she may say, well, I'll keep the home in LA should they have one in LA, and you could keep the one down there where you at. Okay, and if she has one in New York and one in New Jersey, maybe she'll keep those 2 and maybe give him the one in LA and let him keep the one in Atlanta. But it's clear that they're going to try to, she wants everything to split up real equally. Okay. They say the petition states that for the past 6 months, the 31-year-old and her husband have experienced irreconcilable differences that have caused the breakdown of the marriage, and that there is no reasonable prospect of reconciliation between them. Okay. So Miss Cardi is moving forward. She said, baby, we are never, ever, ever getting back together. So whatever you thought it was, it's dead. I'm done. Okay. And then, and I don't want to put this out there, but it is a question for me. I do question, how did Offset feel when he found out that she was pregnant with a third, their third child together? Was he okay with that? Was he not wanting another child, or, where were they at with that? How was she feeling? Was it something that they planned? Was she shocked by it? I do question that. That's none of my business, but I'm not gonna lie, that is a question that I've had. Okay. But you guys can leave your thoughts on that down below. All right. Now they go on to say her rep set the record straight on any speculation about what led to the duo legally ending their marriage. Say this is not based on one particular incident. It has been a long time coming. Okay. So there's that. All right. She also said that it's not going to stop nothing. Like, she's still planning on releasing her stuff. Everything is already in order. She still, plans to follow through with a lot of stuff. So there's that. So we'll see what's gonna happen, girl. I saw Offset get on social media, and he was just playing some music and rapping in the car and all this and that, and acting like he's unfazed or whatever. So we shall see. But how people show themselves up online isn't always how they are, offline. So he could be punching the air, he could be crying, um, could be anything. So we'll have to wait and see, child. That'd be crazy. Let me tell you something, Cardi. You better not divorce this man, then turn around and try and go back to him. Okay, don't be following through on no divorce and then be trying to turn around and then this thing, they back together. I don't know, but we'll see at a later time. So good luck. All right. Now, as we're speaking on female hip hop, child, I don't know why I have Trump right here, but give me 1 second. And we're back. Okay. Now, listen, I wanted to talk to you guys real quick about this Spotify. I guess you would call this art, this mural, this painting, this exhibit that took place. Okay. Now, this was really nice. I'll give it to them. I think they did a really nice job on it. Love the clouds that they had. Love the images of the ladies. I thought they looked nice for the most part. They are calling it the gold standard exhibit, okay? Featuring fine art portraits of the ladies that are setting the bar for hip hop. Okay, because it's all about the ladies, because the men ain't been given SHI nor a T. All right. Now, I'll be honest. When I saw this, I was like, oh, this is cool or whatever. But I did not see Nicki on it. So because I did not see Nicki on it, I'm like, why Nicki ain't on it? Like, I said, oh, that's not nice. Well, that's not nice. For y'all to not have Nicki on there, I think Nicki should have been up there in between Megan and Cardi at the top. Like, what had happened? I wonder what happened. I'm like, oh, I said the Barb's not gonna be too happy with that. They're gonna be upset about it. It's gonna be mad about this child. And I was not wrong. They were definitely upset about it. They said the audacity. How dare you not put the queen on there? And I start thinking, well, maybe they're meaning like the new ladies, because all of these are new. They've come up within the past, few years, and definitely within the past 10 years. So maybe they're talking about like a new era, because they're also calling it an ode to the golden era of women in hip hop. So maybe they're meaning something different aside from Nicki, who really started a long time ago, and she was from a different era when these ladies were never around, and nobody could really compete with Nicki. Okay, it took a Cardi B to come along to get on the charts for there to even be any sort of, I guess, competition, right? So that's what I was thinking, like maybe that's what it is. But then I was like, the lady just dropped the album though last year. Now, whether you like her or you don't like her, y'all still could have gave her little tens. Now y'all still could have put that lady on this thing. She out here doing the tour. She about to go on her second leg of a tour in the US. Her album did pretty well on the initially on the charts, from what I understand. So it's like, come on now, y'all could have had this lady on here. Like, that's messy as hell. Well, was it messy as hell? Because let me tell you, the Barbs was upset yesterday, honey. They was pissed. They was mad until the true tea came to the front. And the true tea came from the person that designed this, that put this entire exhibit together. She came to the front and said, a month and a half earlier, I was contacted by Spotify to create 11 portraits and a general composition for the exhibition, the gold standard. Now she said 11 portraits. Let me count these people. 1, 2. So we got Glow, Doja, Lotto, Young Miami, Cardi B, JT, Megan, Ice, who's this Sexy Red, Sweetie, and what's her name? Flo. Okay. So that's 11 people right there. So were you contacted to make 12 or were you contacted to make 11 because they must have already reached out to the ladies to get their permission or something? Okay. So then she goes on to say this was to be my first solo exhibition. I was honored to draw portraits of Cardi B, City Girls, Doja Cat, Flo Milli, Glorilla, Ice Spice, Lotto, Megan Thee Stallion, Saweetie, and Sexy Red. The exhibition was held at a particular location in New York, and I can't wait to share a little more of this adventure with you in the coming days. Thank you so much to all of you for your support in this adventure and to everyone who helped make this dream a reality. P.S. This is the part for me. Don't come after me in my DMs. Nicki didn't want to be a part of the show. So for the people that wanted to eat her up and be like, how you ain't paying it? First of all, y'all shouldn't be coming at her no way. You should go to Spotify. And Spotify was the one to approach her. That's number one. Number two, Nicki did not want to be a part. Why would you not want to be a part? Why would you not want to be a part when all of these girls were influenced by you? You're constantly telling people how much they are your damn sons, this, that, and the other. So why would you not want to be a part? And it's so funny because now the Barbs have shifted the narrative. Y'all was so upset that Nicki wasn't a part of it yesterday. And then now that you only hear that she didn't want to be a part of it, don't even know why she don't want to be a part of it. Just hear that she don't want to be a part of it. Now it's given. I know that's right, Queen. I wouldn't want to be on there with peasants either. I wouldn't even want to be on there with that either. Now y'all justifying the behavior. Girl. And it's crazy because it's like Nicki often wants to be included, but when they asked her, she excludes herself. So therefore, don't be mad when people just don't even bring you up. Don't be mad when people don't even just want to include your ass because you don't want to do it no way. Okay. So I don't know. I felt like I don't even know, honestly. Okay. I don't even know her reasoning for turning it down. Okay. But since others are justifying her turning it down, then let me give my own little assumption. I feel like she didn't want to be up there with these girls, so she don't fuck with none of them. I don't fuck with a single bitch on this thing. What the fuck I look like standing next to these hoes? If I stand next to them bitches, they don't think that they my equals, and these bitches need to know that they not. But you probably more than likely you would have been up there at the top. Everybody knows what it is. So why would it not be okay for you to play with the girls and be on the mural? Like, it's not making sense. You want people to know your legacy and your impact, but you don't want to be a part of this legacy image and the impact. It'll never make sense to me. I don't give a fuck how nobody feel about it. Y'all do what y'all want to do, rant on. Okay. Like this one comment that I'm looking at it. Somebody says not adding Nicki seems very personal because how can you not include the one that influenced each single one of the girls in the picture? Now go back and ask Nicki that question. Go ask Nicki that question because Nicki the one that did not even want to be a part of it. Okay. Don't have to. Where's Nicki? She should be at the top. Go back and ask go back and ask her. Somebody says Spotify, none of these women except for Doja Cat are setting notable stream achievement on Spotify right now. None of those women can crack 60K first week album sales with the average being 35K. So if y'all mad at somebody, go be mad at it because Nicki is the one that said that she did not want to be a part of it. And if anybody tries to change the narrative again, you sound like a clown. If you're trying to sit up here and say, oh, I see why she ain't do it. So when it dropped, you know what I'm saying? She can kind of shift the attention to back on her because she don't fuck with them girls or whatever. Because even though they dropped this and it's supposed to be about these ladies, then all we talking about is Nicki doll. So do they really matter? Cut it out. Cut it out. They obviously do matter so much that they got y'all upset about it. But either way, honey, good luck. Okay, so Nicki is not on there. You guys can leave your thoughts and comments down below on how you feel about this matter and her rejecting the opportunity to be a part, of this moment. Okay, so that's all we got on the rap girlies, and now I want to get into a little bit more of the politics. Okay, so let's talk about that, because I want to get back into Trump and him sitting down with the NABJ. And what I heard from this article on Axios, and I'm hoping I read that correctly, right? They were saying that the reason it was taking so long for them to actually do the whole panel was, yes, they did have some equipment issues, but it was fixed rather quickly. Okay, that is what I do believe. This is like the I believe he's the president, the NABJ president, Ken Lemon. This is what he told them. Okay, they said there, he says there were audio problems, but they were resolved very quickly. The real reason, though, he also goes on to say, and we'll get into that, he's pretty much saying that Trump did not want to be fact checked live. In that he did not want to be fact checked. That is why I feel like he wants it to be his debate with Kamala to be over on Fox, because he wants to be able to shift and push a certain narrative. Okay, because he is losing in the polls, and I feel like only a desperate person that's losing in the polls would want to shift and move, in my opinion. Even though he's sitting down saying that he's leading in the polls, he's not. But it don't even matter. Whatever polls they got going on don't matter. The real polls are going to take place in November when everybody gets out and vote. Okay. Now, what Lemon goes on to say is the bigger problem was his threat not to take the stage when he had agreed to go on. He did not want to be fact checked, but we could not let him on the stage without fact checking. Okay. That is what happened. Now, behind the scenes, they say the stalemate was so prolonged that NABJ leaders were prepared to explain to the audience of nearly 2,000 people why Trump would not appear. Okay. They said, one of the leaders said, I was prepared to go on stage to craft a statement saying he decided not to go on the stage because of fact checking, and we couldn't compromise on that. All right. So that's what ended up happening. But as soon as he was getting ready to go out there and say it, that's when Trump decided to say, oh, no, I'm coming. I'll come on stage, because I'd rather go on ahead and go on stage, deal with it, than you telling all those people I don't want to be fact checked. Okay. That's just what they're saying. All right. Now, Lemon says Trump team eventually asked NABJ not to post the fact checking on its social media platforms or allow the moderator to disclose that there would be fact checking. So ABC's Rachel Scott discussed the fact checking on stage, and NABJ publicized ahead of the event that there would be fact checking. Why would you not want to be fact checked? I'm confused. What you mean? Okay. What do you mean? And then the president goes on to say that they traditionally invite both candidates to the convention every election cycle. Now, I don't know if the other ones in the past, the Republicans have accepted the opportunity, or the Democrats have nominees have accepted the opportunity, but they were just saying a lot of people got upset with them for having Trump on the platform, but it's not out of their norm to invite both candidates at the time. Okay. So yeah. That's crazy. They said Trump held him up about a good 40 minutes. So for him to get in that seat and try and bash that woman and say, oh, y'all equipment wasn't working and all this and that, knowing he was also part of the holdup, was wrong. And I also feel like that Fox lady should not have had her ass on that stage. But at the same time, if you have, I think it's right to be even. If you may have somebody that may be more Democrat on the as a journalist, more of a Republican, and then a person that's more independent, then maybe that was fair to have all of them on the stage. But she definitely was trying to, reframe the questions and set it up, trying to slick, in my opinion, show off just a bit. And also, I guess make him feel more comfortable to answer the question. So it is what it is. She did her job. It is what it is. It was what it was. But what I want us to get into is what Miss Angela Rye had to say about him and his NABJ appearance. Okay. Looks like she may have sat down with the Shade Room and they got into some things. And I want us to check out what Angela Rye had to say about his appearance.
What was your initial response to Trump speaking to Rachel Scott in the way that he did it? typical. We know, number one, Donald Trump cannot handle strong women. No, he can't handle a strong black woman. He always calls us nasty. He calls Kamala Harris dumb as the rock, whatever. Those are the kinds of things that he uses, the insults that he's been laughing. People were surprised by this performance. Y'all ain't pay attention to him in 2016. Y'all ain't pay attention to 2020. Like, what are we talking about? Like, this is the same exact person. This is the same person who called for the death penalty of the Central Park Five. This is the same person who just on the other side of Sonia Massey being killed in Springfield, Illinois, said that he wanted to grant police officers full immunity, not qualified immunity, full immunity like what he just got from the Supreme Court. This man is not our friend. Kendrick said it best. Y'all know what he said.
Yeah, I like that.
All right, so y'all just heard what she said, and she was definitely on point with everything that she had to say. Let me see if there's more.
I don't care if Megan pulled up twerking and did a handstand. We need people to get out and vote. And that was the whole point of the rally, and her appearance there was to appeal to the younger generation, to encourage them to vote. So I don't care what Megan was doing. Like DJL said, we're 100 days away. We got bigger things to focus on than that.
I agree. Okay, that's one of the hosts of that podcast, and I don't agree with that. I really don't give a fuck. I feel like people just wanted to shift their attention to focus on some stuff, primarily the people that hate Megan, because their good friend Tory has been locked up. Okay. They don't like her because of that. They don't like her because of the beef with Nicki Minaj. People have their own reasonings. And then you have some people that just genuinely feel like, nah, I like Megan. I just feel like she shouldn't have been twerking. Girl, we don't care. Okay. If Kamala Harris wanted that type of professionalism at her election, she would have made sure that she had it. She knew what she was getting when she booked Miss Megan, and it is what it is. Okay. So there's that. Just make sure y'all get out there and vote. Let your outrage for choosing the right president be just as big as it was for y'all to complain about what the hell Megan was over there doing on that stage. Okay. And that's just how I feel about that on that. Okay. And Angela Rye definitely ate down with everything that she had to say. Like, come on, this man is not our friend. Okay. Of course, he wants to give these police officers immunity because at some point he's going to need these police officers, should he get in office, to carry out some of his duties to violate individuals, especially if they are not, following behind him and his pretend dictatorship, in my personal. So there's that one, that. Hello. But anywho, let's hop over here and listen to Amber Rose, because she had something to say about Miss Megan too, and wanting to talk about her being at Kamala's rally. So let's check this out.
Forever.
Right. No, truth. What I want to ask you, you brought her up. What do you think about Kamala, like having Megan Thee Stallion twerk? What were your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, look, it's, I think I like Megan. I think she's a good person. I think that she is pandering to Black people. I think that she thinks that that's what Black people want to see in order to vote for her. And I think it's absolute bullshit. I mean, I think that people in general just want to know the policies. All that, the extra stuff, it's like, it's cool. It's like a concert and stuff like that. But what about the policies? How are you going to make America washed forever?
Right.
All right, so y'all just heard some of what she's saying. She wasn't really talking about Megan. She said she thinks Megan is good. She's a cool person. But when she goes into talking about pandering, she's talking about Kamala Harris. Okay, she felt like that's what she wanted us to see. I feel like it's contradictory for you to say that, as you often pander, in my personal opinion. And you're also the same woman that promotes slut walks or whatever. But anywho, aside from that, I feel like, was it pandering when Hulk Hogan got up there and did his thing for Trump? Was it pandering when you got your stupid ass up there as well? And what about Kid Rock? Okay. So, hey, the people gonna do what they gotta do to appeal to a younger audience. I see nothing wrong about it. All right. I do think that Amber was right. The people do want to see and hear what the policies are. I do believe that we will learn more about what those policies are. As first of all, people keep saying that. What's the policies? The lady just got the damn position. It wasn't her plan to run in this man's place this whole time. She was trying to be a VP. Now she has to draft her own damn policies. Okay. Now some of them may be similar to Biden, but she just got the position last week. week before last, she trying to secure the damn nomination. Okay, but anywho, all right, I do believe that we're going to get that after this Chicago Democratic convention. I do believe the policies are going to come forth. I do feel like she's mentioning a little bit at each one of her things, at each one of her rallies. Okay. Speaking on things that she wants to, change, improve, or whatnot. But I want an itemized list breakdown. I want to be able to go to your website and I want to be able to find it. Okay. So I will say that. And I do believe that will come after, in a few weeks. Okay. But that's just my opinion on that. All right. You guys can leave yours down below. Now, we also have talked about Trump and Kamala debating. That is something that we're waiting on. Okay. Now, Trump does not want to debate Kamala. Honestly, he doesn't. Wholeheartedly, he doesn't. However, should he debate her, he is preferring to debate her with Fox News and not with ABC. And this is so interesting because just the other day, he was clowning Fox, saying that they're going to have to win without Fox because he didn't like that Fox was putting certain people on the platform, giving them attention. That's what he's all about, is having attention, primarily, in my opinion. Okay, so he didn't like that. Okay, and also some of the people over at Fox, although they can be extremely ignorant and say the most salacious things, in my opinion, on their platforms to get more hits on their channels, some of them are also being honest about how they feel about him, and I'm sure he can't take that either. But nonetheless, he is still trying to have this debate, and the debate is supposed to happen, I believe, September 10th, from my understanding. And he is trying to change it because he wants to do it at Fox. So what he's doing, in my opinion, is changing the narrative just a bit. So they're supposed to have this debate at ABC, Fox, and that's something he's already agreed to, but he agreed to that with Joe Biden. Right? People are calling him out for being scared. Oh, he's scared. He's scared. He's scared. He's shaking. He ain't gonna make it. Like, that's what it's given. So now he's trying to shift it, and it's like, nah, I'll debate her. I have no problem. But we'll have to do it at Fox. We got to do it at Fox. Like, I ain't scared, but I'm scared. But if we're gonna do it, like, we got to do it at Fox, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what he's doing, making it appear as though I'm not scared, I'll do it at Fox, but knowing chances are very high that she's going to not want to do it at Fox, because she's going to want to stick to where y'all originally had things set. So now it's kind of like the ball may be out of his court because he's focusing on Fox, and it's like, well, Kamala, you the one that want to debate him so bad. Are you going to go over there to Fox and debate him? Right? And she has responded to that. But before we get into what she says, let's get into what Trump says, because he says, I have agreed with Fox News to debate Kamala Harris on Wednesday, September 4th. The debate was previously scheduled against Sleepy Joe Biden on ABC, but it has been terminated in that Biden will no longer be a participant. And I am in litigation against ABC Network. Okay. And another guy by the name of George. He says, thereby creating a conflict of interest. So I feel now I have a question as to when did he file this litigation against ABC? Okay. I'm over here now, like, let me see this right here, litigation against ABC, because did you file this litigation against them to prevent you from having to go over there? Like, when was this case? When did you file this lawsuit? So that I feel like he filed it to create some type of interference, but I have to do my research on that to see when did this go into place. Okay. Because it could have been into place a long time ago, but if it was in place a long time ago, you still agreed to go over there. Okay. Yes, you did. Now, let me go back and I'll probably hop back over so that we can get into the litigation that he has. But he goes on to say the Fox News debate will be held in the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania at a site area to be determined. The moderators of the debate will be Brett and Martha, and the rules will be similar to the rules of my debate with Sleepy Joe, who has been treated horribly by his party, but with a full arena audience. Okay, so now he's reminding people of how bad the Democrats can be because they've treated him so badly, as though you didn't treat him badly your damn self. And then if he gets Fox News, why does he get to choose who the moderators are? Are they typically the same people that always do it? But let's hop over real quick because I want to get into this lawsuit. So they said the judge won't dismiss Trump's defamation suit against ABC News. Okay, a federal judge on Wednesday refused to dismiss former President Donald Trump's lawsuit against ABC News and George over the anchor's assertion that a jury concluded Trump had RAPE'd Jean Carroll. Trump filed a lawsuit in Florida federal court earlier this year, arguing that George and the network defamed him when George said during a contentious on-air interview with Rep. Nancy Mace that a jury found Trump had RAPE'd Carroll, who was a writer whose own cases against Trump led to him being found liable for SA. So you SA'd her, but you didn't RAPED her, and you were found to be liable for that. And then you decided to sue them. Interesting. Okay, they said the ruling Wednesday amounted to a victory for Trump, who can now move forward with the case as he dives into the 2024 presidential campaign, where he routinely bashes the press for what he believes is unfair coverage. Okay. So this is what's going on with Trump, and this is the reason why he brought this lawsuit to the front. And he came about earlier this year, which is interesting because it came about earlier this year, but you still agreed to do a debate with Biden on ABC despite the lawsuit that you put in place. And now that you see that you are losing in the polls at this time, in my opinion, as much as you're trying to, because you know, one thing you'll do is you'll sit on a person's platform and give fake news all day. But as soon as somebody gives the truth about you, you'll holler about it being fake news. Okay. But anywho, now that you feel like you're losing, as much as you say that you're winning in the polls, you want to switch it to Fox News, hoping that it's going to be a good look for you and it'll be a win for you because they're going to know how to tailor the questions or something like that. I don't know. But I don't think either one of them should be able to choose their network. I think somebody else should choose it. Like, it shouldn't be Fox News, not ABC News. Put it on CBS, put it on somewhere else. Hell, put it on YouTube. Okay. Just my thoughts. So then after he put the statement out about him doing he's willing to debate Kamala on September 4th on Fox News, her campaign communication director puts out a statement and says he needs to stop playing games and show up to the debate he already committed to on September 10th. The vice president will be there one way or the other to take the opportunity to speak to a primetime national audience. Mr. Anytime, Anywhere, Any Place should have no problem with that unless he's too scared to show up on the 10th. Okay? So there's that. So it looks like something's going to be happening, period, on the 10th. So he either going to show up or Kamala is going to use that as another way for her to advocate and promote for her campaign. Child, who would have thought that politics can be so messy? And I do mean messy. You know what else is a bit messy and sad at the same time? It's the Senate. The GOP blocked a bipartisanship bill to expand child tax credit. Okay, I do want to get into that, and then we'll hear what Chuck Schumer has to say about it. All right, now they're saying Senate Republicans on Thursday blocked a bipartisan bill that would boost a tax credit for parents after breezing through the House with wide bipartisanship support in January. The bill stalled out in the Senate because Republicans feared it could provide a big win for the Democrats ahead of the election. Now, Senate Republicans also said the bill did not impose strict enough work requirements for the child tax credit recipients. So they want y'all to have, impose more strict work requirements in order for y'all to even receive a little piece of coinage of the credit. Now, Republicans mostly oppose the measure, reasoning that they could write a more conservative tax bill in 2025. But that's really contingent upon if they win control of Congress and the White House. Now, which is what they're gunning for. So they don't want to really give the Democrats anything that's going to make them look good as they head into the election. That's why they flipped the switch. At the top of the year, everybody was all for it. It gets to Congress or to the Senate or whatever, and they like, hell no. Because right now, things ain't looking so good for the Republicans, and we not finna throw y'all no more damn bones at this time. All right. Now, they're also saying that tax legislation will be high on the agenda for the next Congress. Okay. Major provisions of Trump's tax law are set to expire next year, which would sharply increase taxes on individuals and families while leaving massive tax breaks for corporations in place. Okay. So the corporations don't get the tax breaks, but the families and the individuals ain't. Okay. When this bill expired. Now they're saying under the bill, low income families could claim the child tax credit for multiple children under the bill that they were trying to get approved that got shot down. But the current law only counts for one child for the lowest earning family. So you only can get a child tax credit for one child. If y'all motherfuckers don't see that we is in a damn recession and this high ass inflation, and y'all don't want to acknowledge that, and y'all want to put y'all personal in front of the people that make this world go round and barely doing it, but still doing it at the same time, because y'all still find millions of dollars to send overseas and everywhere else. That's crazy. Y'all supposed to be in there working for the people, and y'all over there working on personal vendettas and shit. I hate it. So the Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says Senate Republicans love to talk about how they are the party of family and business. So it's very odd to see them come out so aggressively against expanding the child tax credit and rewarding business with the research and development tax credit. It's really sad, because how they were doing this bipartisan bill, they were trying to meet both. Okay, they were trying to keep a bit of what the Republicans may have wanted for businesses, corporations, or whatever, and then the Democrats were trying to come forth with expanding this child tax credit. So it wasn't like nobody was really going to win in this. It seemed like everybody was going to win. It's just that under the Democratic administration, the Republicans didn't want to throw them a bone. I said, damn, it's going to be really difficult from now until November, or really now until the end of the year, because they probably going to be blocking God knows what else, just to make it look like the Democrats ain't do SHI the same way they tried to pull stunts, when Obama was in office. That's the other thing. That's why it's so important to not just look at these presidents that y'all are putting in office. Y'all need to look at these senators, these Congress people that y'all got going in there speaking on our behalves, because if you get a Democratic president, but majority of the people in there are Republicans, then it's like, I mean, how much can they really do? You feel what they're going to be trying to stop stuff at every turn. And then it's going to appear as though the Democratic president, if Kamala gets in office, it's going to look like she ain't accomplished nothing, or she ain't do a whole lot, because she has also many ops going up against her. So just make sure that as you're schooling yourself on your people when it comes to presidents, you're also schooling yourself on the Congress people too, the Senate, all of that. So you know who to put in place for that's gonna be about what it is that you want, and advocating for you. But let's get into a little bit of what Chuck Schumer say.
Okay. Well, first, thank you for being here. Thanks for your good work in this recent part of our congressional session. And a few minutes ago, something very disappointing and stunning happened on the Senate floor. The vast majority of Republicans blocked a hugely bipartisan package that would have helped families, would have helped businesses, would have helped housing, and helped communities hit by natural disasters, something the American people wanted. And once again, they say, well, why are they making us vote on this? Because this was bipartisan. Rare is the moment that the Senate Republicans are even to the right of the House Republicans, but it happened today. This bill was crafted in good part by one of the most conservative members of the Senate, the chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, Smith. It got 357 votes, only 70 against, but Republicans still had a vote against it. And it's sort of something they seem to be doing. Under orders from their candidate, Trump, they want to block everything. So that's what they did on the border, the strong, tough, bipartisan border bill we had. That's what they're doing today on the tax bill. That's what they're also doing on crypto and even on some of the AI regulations. The American people don't want that. That's not a way to help people. That's not a way to govern. To listen to Donald Trump and be totally political is not a way to win an election, Republicans. And that's why you're not doing very well right now. Okay. So, just in sum, the Senate Republicans boldly told the American people, we refuse to help you in 2024. And we want to be frank, Republicans voted no because of partisanship, not policy. The senior senator from Missouri said it himself a few days ago. He said this about Republican leadership, quote, they're not interested in passing anything clearly. Now, if getting things done in a bipartisan way was an Olympic event, today Senate Republicans would not have gotten any medal. No gold, no silver, no bronze. Senate Republicans were handing out leaflets earlier this week saying how Republicans must not give in to a Democratic, quote, win before November. Well, Republicans, governing is not just about political wins. This was about making sure American families win. And today, because of Republicans, American families lost.
Baby, actual factual. And y'all are the same ones that wanted Roe v. Wade turned over so that it could be sent back to the states for the states to make the decision. And y'all already knew the decision the states was going to make. Y'all work with the states all the time. Y'all already knew how they was going to rock with it. Y'all knew it was going to be a lot of states that was going to ban abortion, so much as so to charge people, lock them up should they have one or whatever. So y'all want to force people and don't care too much about whether it's rape, incest, none of that. And y'all want to force people to continue to have these kids or whatever, but then y'all don't want to give them any type of nothing as they have these kids and take care. Y'all don't want to give people a little piece of a tax break, child. I can't. Y'all putting y'all personal before the people, and y'all supposed to be there for the people because the people elected you whack asses for those positions. Now y'all got to be mindful and you got to be stingy with how you go about displaying your votes. Okay. You got to really see what these people, girl, it's a lot of research we got to do, ain't it? To find out who's the best fit for us. Don't just be going in there voting just for the president and walking the hell out, child. Okay? Or just punching a name in. I see what these people really talking about. But listen, I just wanted to come run my mouth with you guys really quickly, share my thoughts on a few matters that's been taking place over here on social media. Go ahead and leave your thoughts and comments down below regarding everything that we talked about today. I am Jami, that's me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos. You can follow me over on Instagram and on Twitter at JamiThatsMe, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, and just single the mile. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler, the flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I've been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but you run no Connor. Packing the stick with a drummer.